Alright, Shalom. Halalyam la Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and labouring in this word and doctrine. And Shalom la Bachaya, meaning peace to the elect. Alright, so this is on endurance. I don't know quite what I'm going to touch on exactly. Obviously, we know the themes, and we'll just kick it off, man. So, 1 Chronicles 16:34. I'll give thanks unto Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. And you can read about that into Psalm 136 is going to say a lot. Psalm 136 and 3. I'll give thanks to the Lord of Lords, for his mercy endureth forever. So the same way his mercy endureth forever, meaning we didn't get killed, we might have got judged, but nowhere in terms of, if we're all worthy of death, if you're worthy of death according to Torah, and you're still alive, that's mercy, man. Yahawashi spoke about how they omitted the weighty matters of the law. Mercy and judgment were two of those factors there. So mercy is important, because the Lord's mercy endures forever. We have to uphold our part and endure forever. Halalyam, endure to the end. So you've got let's get to that's it. Psalm 72, and I think it starts at 3. Yeah, Psalm 72 and 3. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations. And there's a precept to that in, I think it's Jeremiah 31. It talks about, well, if the moon and stars, if them pass away, then Israel will cease from being a nation the same way. So we know the moon and the stars, the earth abideth forever. How it talks about, I think that's Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. It talks about how the earth will endure forever. So when it talks about a new heaven and a new earth, it's talking about a rulership. Right? It's not talking about a whole new, this globe's going to get replaced with a new one, and it's going to spin different, it's going to be all like this. It's going to be a different vibration, don't get me wrong, but it's the same earth. The earth abideth forever. Might have to move down. Alright, perfect. So Psalm 136 and 21, he said, and gave the land for an heritage, for his mercy endureth forever. And that's to be smit other nations, so that Israel, being the so-called Black, Hispanic and Native American man, which is the Hebrew Israelite of the Bible, whether you like it, whether you get offended, whether you feel like, nah, only the Latinos are Israelites, only the natives, nah, only the so-called black man, all of them thing. Nah, man, it's the whole 12 tribes. It's the whole 12 tribes, that's why you have a chart. That's Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. It's talking about how there's two sticks will be joined together. And I believe when you go into the Hebrew, it's the word Itazar, and it does mean wood or plank. That's what it is. It's the 12 tribes plank, truly. The 12 tribe chart, the 12 tribe sign, however people name it. That's what it's talking about. Alright, it said, Psalm 136 and 22, even in heritage unto Israel his servant, for his mercy endureth forever. So you can see the Lord's mercy endures forever. So I want to get on what we need to do according to the so-called synoptic gospels. And also, one of them, I can't remember which one, but they say one of them's not actually synoptic. But you know what I mean, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Don't really matter what them people say. But anyway, this is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 22. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So it's not going to be comfortable, it's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be a lovely time. It's going to be lovely. It is going to be lovely. Because if you understand that you've got wisdom and knowledge, which according to Isaiah 33 and 6, will be the stability of thy times. It says, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times and the strength of thy salvation. So it will be lovely in that sense, but you're still going to get afflicted, man. You're going to get afflicted. And I think it's in the Apocrypha, it talks about it. Let's get it, because I'm on Matthew 10. I'm looking for, I wanted Sirach 2 and 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. So if you're making haste in the time of trouble, what's the large time of trouble? Jacob's trouble. You can't make haste to that. What you should do is set thy heart aright, constantly endure, and you cleave unto Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi. It says Sirach 2 and 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And that's what we're looking for. And what's the increase? The increase will be being crowned by Yahawashi, the son of Yahawah. That's the crowning. It literally being a co-heir, a co-rulership, new bodies, slaves, multitude of children, wives, every kind of how you say, possession, gold, riches, all the things that Jake chased now on the left hand, it'll be in order and it'll be a right, and that's the crown we strive for, man. We don't want incorruptible. Sorry. We do want incorruptible. We don't want corruptible riches and all of them things like. I'm really poor at this, so watch your brother's video. I won't necessarily even remember the channel or the brother's name, but one of the brothers, it was an edifying video. It was on, I'm not even sure who it was. I don't want to say who it was, someone when it wasn't either, so salaki for that. Sorry, bro. But it was talking about how the gold was heaped together, all the bullions, the billions of bullions. Look up the word bullion. All of the different gold ingots, and everything. It's like, well, that's preserved, that's saved for the elect. And how do you get that? By enduring. They're constantly enduring. Not making haste in the time, let me take this chip. Let me take this max. That would show a lack of faith. Yeah, that would be effeminate. Seeking to another man, another nation. Not another man, because obviously it says, well, how can I accept someone guide me? Of course, we have elders and so on, but seeking guidance from a man of another nation to come and save you out of something that you put yourself in for transgressing your power, your God, so-called. So that we're in the so-called New Testament. It said Matthew 10 and 22, and you should be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. You have to finish the course. How Paul spoke about finishing the course. In fact, let's find that. Yeah. Acts chapter 20 and 24. But none of these things move me, neither count I my life dear unto myself, so that I might finish my course with joy, and the ministry which I have received of the Lord Yahawashi, to testify the gospel of the grace of Yahawah. So you have to finish it. You can't just, you don't get a runners-up prize, man. A runners-up prize, if you don't make it, is a nuke, and that's not meat. That's not something you should desire. Like 2 Timothy 4 and 7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Yeah, so you can do that until the finish line you drop. You don't want to be that guy. So constantly endure. Believe into Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Again, you got the same message, iterated once more. So Matthew chapter 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So that's who will be saved. It talks about in Acts, whosoever call upon the name of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, shall be saved. But there's a whole context with that. Like Christians say, what's the context? Or what is the context? It's not just you say, sweet Jesus, and you get deliverance, especially because that's not even the name. It talks about in Acts chapter 4 and 12, how there's one name. Acts chapter 4 and verse 12, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. And we know through faith it's Yahawashi. All the other ones come with, well, you've got diverse doctrines with brothers that call upon that name, but it all comes from the same root. Right, and that's starting with Elijah, who is John the Baptist, who also is Abba Bivens. Do you groups teach that? The House of David congregation. I don't know, do you people teach that? Why do you call yourself the House of David? Do you believe that Masha is David? But anyway, this is chapter, and by chapter, this is Mark chapter 4, verse 17 it said, and let's get the context. Mark chapter 4, verse 15, these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. When they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And that's a part of, you could do that, you could endure And as soon as you've endured, say, even a conversation about it, Satan cometh immediately and take it away, unroot it. But it says, I can't remember exactly where, but it talks about any. Let's find it. So lucky, bear with me. Oh, what is that? It's not. Let me find it, man. There we are. So Matthew chapter 15 and 13. But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. So you could be receiving the word and it's all seemingly going swimmingly. And then Satan comes and takes it away from you. Well, that was the Father's will. That was according to his decree. Right? Nothing happens, as it said when the heathen were mocking us, but our power is in the heavens, he hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. So that's what it's about. Let's go back to endurance. There we are, this is where we were. So Mark chapter 4 and 16 says, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, that when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure, but for a time. Yeah, that's probably what I should have. Excuse that car. Right, excuse my audio with that car and everything. But that's probably what I should have applied it with. Yeah, received it with joy. It's like, oh yeah, man, I'm with that, man. This is gonna happen. We're gonna get the king. This is great, man. And then what happened? And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. You don't want to be offended, man. Matthew chapter, I always make reference to that. Matthew chapter 11 and 6. It said, and blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. That's a blessing, not to be offended. And being offended over the word is kind of, it's off. It's not kind of off, it's all the way off. And there have been things in here that was hard to swallow for me. But again, you have to eat the whole roll, whether bitter or sweet. Alright? So you have to endure all the way. Not halfway. Not lukewarm. Halfway will be lukewarm, innit? As the Cardi B of Israel said, get spit out! That's what she said, man. Anyway. Mark chapter 13 and 13. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. John 6 and 27. Labour not for the meat which perisheth. And meat, when you read in an old English context, it just meant food. Like, it didn't necessarily have to be animal flesh. But that's not for you vegans or vegetarians to start making a doctrine out of it. Oh, well, he said it. How do you explain the Pesach? In fact, it talks about you. In one of the epistles, it talks about how they'll talk about commanding to abstain from meats that are meant to be received or were created to be received with thanksgiving, paraphrasing. So that's done out. John 6 and 27, labour not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath Yahawah Abba sealed. So that's the true sealing. Again, you see how it was the Father that healed. Sorry, the Father that sealed. And the Father that healed. But the Father that sealed. Talks about in John 6 and 44, no man can cometh to the Father, or cometh to me. Let's just read it, man. This is St. John chapter 6, verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father, which has sent me, draw him, and I'll raise him up at the last day. It's all of the Father's will. That's why I say that. It's all according to his decree, his perfect will. And then we've got a lot in this stuff. Oh. So I might just try to read these quickly. There we are, 1 Corinthians 13 and 7. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. The context is charity. Charity. Ooh. 2 Corinthians 1 and 6. And whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation, which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer, or whether we be comforted, it is for your consolation and salvation. 2 Thessalonians 1 and 4. So that we ourselves glory in you, in the churches of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that you endure. And there's going to be a lot. It talks about that in Sirach, the 2nd chapter. It talks about, we read that part. Let's read what it says. I'm really trying to speed it up, but there we are. Sirach 2 and 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And that's when it starts going into what that. I really should have read that at the start. 2 Timothy 2 and 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi HaMashiach. Now, a soldier's not effeminate. A soldier's not running from duties. A soldier is to carry out what is desired of him. What is not desired. What is required of him, should I say. Okay. 2 Timothy 2 and 10. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake. So it's all about the elect. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahawashi with eternal glory. It says, I think that's it. I think that's actually the part. 2 Timothy, oh no, I thought that was the thing about vegetarian. 2 Timothy 4 and 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. And that's something to endure. To carry it. It talks about continuing in the things that you've learnt. Being assured of who you've... There you are, 2 Timothy 3 and 14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learnt and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. It's a beautiful thing that our eyes can see our teachers, as it talks about. There you are, this is beautiful, 2 Timothy 4 and 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. That word evangelist goes back to the Greek evangelion, which is the gospel, the good news, which the so-called Old Testament talks about before the so-called New Testament. Okay. And read all of these precepts are beautiful. Hebrews 12 and 7. If you endure chastening, Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? And the last one for endurance that we'll read today is 1 Peter 1 and 25. But the word of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. So I pray that was edifying. Until the next one, Lord willing. All praises to Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi bahasham Shalom.